Adventures. I'm Monique.
And I'm Danny.
Today we're here at Enzo's Hideaway in Disney Springs. So it's a beautiful Saturday evening. It's a lively night. So we're here to check out Enzo's today to kind of review some of the food, some of the drinks, and just kind of check out all the fun stuff it has to offer.
Yeah, so Enzo's is actually a tunnel bar, and it's actually located right near Marie and Enzo's. So it's kind of hidden. It's basically just across the other side of the bridge, right next to Marie and Enzo's. And so this bar is themed after basically a speakeasy during the prohibition times. So that's the reason why it's kind of hidden in a way. So we're gonna go and check it out and give you guys a full review.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. This is Marie and Enzo's restaurant right here, and so this is the tunnel that you take to get to Enzo's Hideaway. So that's kind of what the theming is all about. It's kind of has that hidden vibe to it, like kind of like the speakeasies during the prohibition times.
So here's what the dinner menu at Enzo's Hideaway looks like. They have an abundance of cocktails and small plates, as well as like a meat and cheese board. Signature drinks, which all look amazing, by the way. We will definitely get one of those for sure. Some second plates, desserts, martinis, and then finally some mocktails. So definitely a little bit for everybody, which is great. At Enzo's Hideaway, they have a pretty extensive wine selection. They have sparkling wines, a wine flight, a couple of rosé wines, some whites, and a whole abundance of red wines, which is pretty cool. And then they also have like some exceptional wines over here. So definitely, like, if you want to splurge, you can definitely find a couple of different wine bottles here. Some beers that are on draft, and more importantly, also some bottles and some cans. So there's a pretty wide selection here of everything. So now we're getting ready to taste the bread here at Enzo's. It actually looks really good. And typical like many Italian restaurants, you have the traditional like olive oil and balsamic vinaigrette together. So let's give it a taste. Make sure you get a lot of that olive oil and balsamic in there.
Yeah, make sure you get the good stuff.
Very rustic. It has like that nice crispy bite to it. The olive oil and the balsamic go really well together. Plus they usually sprinkle like that cracked pepper on top of it, which really makes a nice twist on it. So I think overall, definitely a very good first start to our meal here at Enzo's. These strawberry fields. This is what it looks like. Absolutely beautiful color, by the way. So this basically consists of bullet bourbon, Fernet Branca, strawberry syrup, lemon, ginger, and cucumber. So let's give it a taste. Oh wow. It's definitely very amazing. Like, I'm very surprised. You can definitely taste the strawberry in there. It's very smooth. That bullet bourbon just really kind of like balances out everything else included in there. So I think overall a very good first impression here at Enzo's Hideaway. And I think my overall rating of this drink so far is probably like a 9.3 out of 10.
So I decided to get the hazelnut old fashioned. Here's what it looks like. So it has knob cream, frangelico, orange, and maraschino cherry. So I'm gonna go taste it. It's perfect. It has a perfect blend of sweetness, but you can also taste the whiskey. It's very smooth. Highly recommend this drink. I would give this one a 9.2.
So for our appetizer here at Enzo's Hideaway, we decided to get the meatballs. This is what they look like. Okay. So basically the actual formal name here on the menu for the meatballs is called polpettini. It's basically classic braised meatballs with ricotta cheese and Parmigiano cheese. So definitely very authentic Italian. It smells amazing, it looks amazing. So I'm gonna give it a taste for you guys. At first glance, they're actually like really big, like so you get 3 big ones. But as you can see, like it cuts very well. It's definitely just like pure meat there. That red sauce smells amazing. Like, cannot wait to taste this. So that's an up close look of what it looks like, by the way. Yes, it's definitely super good. Like, it's cooked to perfection. You can taste that red sauce, the herbs, the cheese in there. Like, it is definitely perfection. Overall, I think my overall rating of these meatballs is probably about 9.5 out of 10. So for my entree here tonight at Enzo's, I decided to get the salmon alla griglia, which is basically grilled salmon, crispy potatoes, broccolini with chili and garlic, and salmo riglio. So I just asked for mine, like for a double broccolini, just because I'm not a huge fan of crispy potatoes, but this is what it looks like. It smells amazing. Like at first glance, it just looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste it for you guys. So at first, like glance, like the salmon just falls apart very beautifully. This is what it looks like. Yeah, the salmon is like on point. It's cooked very well. It's like the top part of it is just like slightly crispy, which is great. It's cooked to perfection. It's seasoned very well. I think overall the dish works very well. I'm gonna try the salmon riglio, which I guess it looks like a paste of almost like different chilies and everything, so I'm gonna give that a taste. This is what it looks like up close. So it's basically like green olives and black olives along with like some peppers, so nice little sauce addition to it. And then the broccolini is like cooked very crisp and everything, so definitely intrigued to try that. But I think overall my rating for this dish is probably like a 9.2 out of 10.
So I actually decided to get the same thing as Monique. I got the salmon alla griglia. It's grilled salmon, crispy potato, broccolini with chili, garlic, and some riglio. So the reason I got it is there's only like 8 options really on the menu, so it's kind of limited. Everything that they have is good, but it's just kind of limited. So it's very good, it's very fresh. The salmon is cooked to perfection. It's very flaky. You can definitely taste the lemon and the butter. It's seared perfectly. You can see how juicy it is. Overall, I give this one a 9.0 out of 10. So as for the broccolini, it's actually very good too. So it's probably one of the best broccolinis I've ever had. It's not too oily. A lot of times when you get broccolini, it's like on the oily side and it kind of messes up my stomach sometimes. But this broccolini is very thick, it's very crunchy, and it has lots of flavor. I highly recommend.
I decided to get the Enzo's red sangria. Apparently they're like famous for their house-made sangria, so I was like, you know what, let's give it a try. This is what it looks like. I love the color. It has your typical like apples, strawberries, and pineapple in it, so I'm really excited to try it. So cheers. Oh wow, it's really good. Like the red wine that they use is actually really smooth and crisp. The fruits in there actually like come through pretty well. You can definitely taste like the strawberries and the apples and the pineapple in there. So I think overall, like it's definitely a really good sangria. It's probably like tops one of my favorites on the list. So I'd probably give an overall rating of about a 9.1 out of 10. One unique thing about Enzo's is that with the red sangria, you can also get a pitcher of this as well. So one glass of the red sangria is $15, and then the pitcher itself is $39. So if you're coming here with like a small group of people, like about like 3 or 4 people or maybe more, it's easier to kind of just like get a pitcher, so that way like everyone has enough to pass around. But overall, I definitely highly recommend this drink. noticed that Enzo got actually critically acclaimed for a couple of awards. They were featured in Orlando City Magazine for Restaurants We Love. They were the 2019 Dining Awards Critics Pick for Best Italian Restaurant in Central Florida. And they were also the Critics Pick for Best Italian in Enzo's for here at Enzo's. So definitely pretty cool to see that.
So as you can see, this is the purpose of the tunnel. Basically there's a bridge here, and Marie and Enzo's, you can kind of see the top of the building over there. So basically built this tunnel, you know, below this bridge, and that's what leads you over to Enzo's Hideaway.
Alrighty, so we're getting ready to wrap up our night here at Enzo's Hideaway. So we wanted to try something new for today's review. We're actually gonna have like 5 different categories, so here we go. So for our first category, we're gonna rate the atmosphere. I think overall, like the atmosphere at Enzo's Hideaway was for me about like a 9.1 out of 10.
And for the menu, which is our second category, I would say like there's not much of a variety as far as like entrees go. I think they only had like 8 entrees, but you know, they did have, you know, like salads, they had some appetizers, they didn't really have that many beers either. They only had a couple beers on draft, a couple of bottle beers, but they did have a huge selection for wine. So I'd say if you're like more into wine, this is more the place to go.
So our third category would be service. Our waitress was actually really great. Like she was very attentive to us. Like anytime we needed water or drinks or anything, she was always super attentive. So I think for that rating, I would probably give it like a 9.2 out of 10. So a very good service. They have a good amount of waiters there. So it's not like you have to wait long in between meals or drinks or anything. They're like always there for you, which is really great.
And the next category we have is food. So the food, it tasted very well. Obviously we both got the same thing. We both decided to get the salmon.
Yes.
So, and then we had the meatballs as well. And so they were very good, top notch. I'd give them, you know, a 9.2 for those two food items.
Nice. And for our last category, we have the price and value one. So overall, like our bill was actually kind of expensive, to be honest with you. Like even with our pass holder discounts and everything, it still came to be pretty pricey for just the 2 of us. The entrees themselves are actually a little bit on the pricier side. So are the drinks. The drinks are about like moderately priced, I would want to say. But so if you're coming here like just like a pair of 2 or a group of people, just be expected to drop a pretty penny to say the least. But so I think my overall value for like the price and value range would probably be about like a 7.2 out of 10, just because it is a little bit on the pricier side. Alrighty, so we are getting ready to wrap up our night here at Enzo's Hideaway at Disney Springs. Overall, it was a pretty wonderful night. As always, like Disney Springs is one of our favorite places here. It's just a really cool place and vibe. So if you're looking for like that nice like outdoor indoor dining atmosphere, or just like a cool selection of like stores, restaurants, bars, this is definitely the place to come. We've been to Enzo's before. It's probably about like our second time here, so we've already kind of like a chance to like experience the atmosphere, the drinks and the food and everything. So luckily in terms of like consistency, we'd have to say that Enzo's is pretty consistent, right, with like the food, the service, the vibe, which is really great. I think as a whole, you know, as you guys saw, we got a chance to review the food, the drinks, present our new categories menu, which we thought was a nice addition. So overall, a pretty wonderful night as always. But yeah, I mean, so remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And always remember to keep your adventures endless.